Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to do a review for Mysterica VR, a VR combat as if you were an anime character game. Mysterica released on the Steam Store October 9th, 2020 by developer Gilar 1029745. It's available for the Valve Index and the HTC Vive. It normally retails for $8. I got a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game, and I did test this game out on the Oculus Quest 2 using the Oculus Link cable, and I can confirm it works perfectly fine. There were no issues at all with playing on the Oculus Quest 2. Now, Mysterica VR is focused on the online PvP component, but it does have a single player wave defense type gameplay. Unfortunately, I was not able to test out the online PvP. I do believe the online PvP is supposed to be similar to Juan's VR, and I think I would definitely recommend Juan's VR over this for the simple reason that Juan's VR has existed for a while, and they have somewhat of a player base. Obviously, it's not a huge player base, but it's definitely more than what's on Mysterica. I tried Mysterica. I tried joining the online queue for a PvP match, but I was just stuck in the queue waiting. Just to be on the safe side, I checked out SteamDB, and according to SteamDB, this game had a maximum of 4 players at the height of its popularity, and since then, you're lucky if you see one other player online playing this game, so there just is not a player base to play the PvP focused portion of this game. Not only that, but I believe that Juan's VR is just more polished than this game, and I say that just from having played the single player wave defense gameplay. It wasn't very good. I had trouble even making some of the spells, which really shouldn't happen in this type of game where you have the guided runes. A lot of stuff is not explained very well. Several of the stuff is in Japanese, and I noticed that for the instructions, at first it's in Japanese, but once you click on it, it's actually in English, so you just gotta know to click on it. But at the start of the game, the text that shows up is in Japanese, so yes, this game is in English and you'll be able to play through it. However, it is a little disconcerting when you see flaws like that, where certain text which should be in English for you is actually in another language, and it just kind of shows the overall carelessness and the making of this game. This game overall is just not very polished. It's very rough around the edges. It has some cool ideas. I really like that there's different spells available, and there could definitely be a nice synergy with having to use the sword or having to use your shield, or how much mana do I have to use these powerful spells. But in the end, this game is just too clunky, and it never comes together as a game, and it never is fun. Now, I did play the single player defense game, and it just wasn't fun. It's in an ugly arena. The variety of enemies is really lacking, and when I reached the end of the wave where I died, the game actually crashed, and it happened both times I tried playing the defense type gameplay. So it really is discouraging when you're playing a game and each time that you play it and then you die, the game just crashes and just hangs there. Nothing happened, and both times I had to manually quit the game and restart, and that just kind of made me say, you know what, I've had enough of this game. I'm not going to keep playing it, especially when the single player PvP focused game has no player base and there's just no way for me to test it out. So while I do feel bad doing a full review or calling this a review for a game where I never got to experience the PvP part of this game, to give it a thorough review, when it's because there's just a lack of a player base, there's not much else I can do as a reviewer. I have to review the game that I played, and it's a fact that this game does not have a player base. It's been out for a while, so I really doubt that player base will ever change. If anything, it's just going to stay where it is right now, where you're lucky if you find one other person playing this game. It's just not very good. Mysterica VR is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080, I was getting a steady 90 frames per second. You do have full locomotion, and smooth turning. There's also a comfort option for turning if you need it, but like I said, I did experience several issues, and there's just an overall clunkiness. First of all, the UI is just very ugly, and it's in the wrong language in several parts. I had issues with the hitboxes that would hit enemies and just be almost impossible to tell whether you hit the enemy or not. It just seemed very inconsistent. As far as drawing the runes, drawing the spells, and getting the right spell out, I had difficulty with that, and that's because you're tracing the spell just exactly as you want, and nothing would happen, and I was at full mana. Now, there are things I like about this game. I like how there's a mana component, a health component, and even a stamina component for running around the arena. And I like the synergy that you might have with having to use a sword, or having to use a shield, or having to use a magic spell, and deciding which one to use at any point. Those are all good points for this game, but it just never comes together. It's just too clunky, too unpolished, and it never feels fun to actually play this game. So if I have to give this game a rating, I would give it a 3.5 out of 10. It's just an ugly game that's unpolished, and it would need a lot of work to make it a good game, and I'm not sure if it's ever going to have a player base, so it's pretty hard for me to give it anything higher than a 3.5. Even at the low price of $8, it's just not enough here for me to recommend. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. If you like my review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.